How's everyone doing today? I'm doing Certified Menace on the Outer Galactic Diddler from It 2017. So basically, this movie starts off with one of our main shithead losers that are part of the group, Bill, and his little younger shithead, mini shithead junior. We have is Georgie. So basically, Bill has leukemia and he's sick in bed. I don't know, he's probably just dying of cancer or some shit. Or he pretends to do so because after he's done making Georgie his little paper boat, Georgie asks him, yo, come outside and play with me. You can both be coming in soaking wet. And he's like, no, I kind of don't fucking like you. I wish mom would just like not pick you at the adoption center. So then Georgie just fucks off outside and it's raining outside, so it's like pretty much the perfect time to play with your boat. How are you going to play in the summer? Just like kind of blow it along on the road? That's boring as shit. So he puts his boat on this water that's running along the curve, and he's running after it. And there's two roadblocks. One of these roadblocks he managed to dodge easily. Then the second roadblock came in, tag team for the other one, and just bonked him in the head, made him wallop onto the ground. So he takes a little bit of time to get up, and by the time he does get up, his boat is a little bit further away from him. So then Georgie runs after his boat as if he's playing tag with it, and then his boat ended up being falling into the sewers. So then Georgie goes up to the sewers, and then two yellow eyes emerge. It's piss yellow eyes. It's Pennywise. So Pennywise basically has Georgie's boat, and he introduces himself to Georgie. Georgie's like, hey, who are you and shit? Basically, Pennywise is trying to convince him to go get his bow and tell him about the circus in town and all. Like, one of the things he says is like, one of the things Georgie says is like, oh, mommy said I'm not allowed to take Fent from strangers. But then Pennywise is like, hey, my name's Pennywise. Then we can smoke all we want. We're best friends now. We know each other's names. Bit retarded logic, but anyways, Georgie's a child, so that's probably what Pennywise was thinking. Stupid ass logic work on stupid ass little kids. So then he starts telling Georgie about like the circus in the sewers. It's like the smell that it would make you float away from the source, not towards the source. It's not like a steaming hot pie. It's like a steaming hot pile of shit. It'll just make you want to go away. So he starts telling Georgie about the circus, there's popcorn, I'll make you float as well. He like drag Georgie down, shove a tube up his asshole, blow him up like a blimp and make him float up in the air. So then Pennywise gives him $100 million business deal. Come take your boat. It's literally sitting right here on my hand. All you have to do is reach in, grab it, and you can go home. Simple, right? Georgie reaches in to grab his boat. Pennywise realized he hasn't had anything to eat all day, so he thought this was his chance to munch. So he bites onto Georgie's arm, rips it off. Georgie tries to crawl away, and you can see in this shot, there's like an aerial shot of the camera where Georgie's crawling. You can see Pennywise's arm reaching out of the sewers to drag Georgie and pull him back in. I think that's a pretty cool shot. You can see the detail of his arm, actually bringing Georgie in. It doesn't look like he just got dragged in by a ghost. So then we cut to our main group. One of our main characters in this movie, Beverly. So Beverly's using the toilet for its intended purpose, hotboxing the shit out of it, trying to get lung cancer at the same time. What a dirty little slag. So then one of her friends, or one of her top haters, or number one dedicated hater who's been grinding to hate on her for years, pops up into the bathroom, somehow knows that she's in the fucking cubicle. She has like x-ray vision. You can just see Beverly just fucking shitting and smoking. So then she's like, you're a slag. You got ran through by the whole school year. And then Beverly sort of just like bites back. It's like, am I a slag or am I this? And then the hater goes, and then the bully goes, you're trash. So one of her friends, this is diabolical as shit. So one of her friends grabs a garbage bag from the bin, and she pours it all over Beverly. And Beverly doesn't have a fucking raincoat on her. Beverly doesn't have an umbrella. Why the shit would she bring an umbrella to the bathroom? How the fuck was she supposed to know the forecast was going to be garbage juice rain? So she only had a bag to cover herself, and that's just brutal. And then we cut back to our main group of friends, Georgie, Bill, and Stanley. And Ben's not in this part yet, but they're basically putting away their books. They're shoving them in the bin because school's out for summer. Fuck that shit. I burn our books. And then one of the secondary antagonists of this film, Henry Bowers, fucking hard Henry. If he went to gym 7 days a week and done faint, he's a psycho in this movie. So he's walking by, he grabs Georgie's fucking bag and slingshots him into Stanley like Angry Birds, and then he basically just starts chatting shit to him. He grabs Stanley's frisbee, throws out a bus full of retarded children driving by. He basically just says to Bill, your brother may have been dead all year, but it's not gonna save you anymore, buddy. Alright, next time I'm gonna show up to beat the shit out of you, you won't have his dead corpse to use as a shield to block my punches, okay? Alright, take care. He basically just calls him the homophobic slur and just walks away from them. Mike, one of the main characters, he's basically this black homeschool kid that's going to be part of the main group later on in this movie. He's chilling in the alleyway because I'm pretty sure he's going around being the delivery boy for raw meat. He's delivering his meat to neighbors. Pause. So then he's chilling in the alleyway, and then this door that's in this building, it like burnt hands start like coming out of the fucking gap of the door, trying to claw their way out. It's like a bunch of burn victims. I'm very sure it's because Mike's parents died and he's a little heartless, sadistic bastard and doesn't really love them, so he just let them die. He left them to burn to a crisp. So the door opens up, and then Pennywise is there. He's chained up or some shit. He's on some kinky stuff. He's about to get dominated the fuck out of. So he starts flopping around like a fish that's in desperate need of fucking water. So then Pennywise notices him. His eyes glow piss yellow like in the sewers. He waves at Mike like he's his uncle or some shit. It's like, hey, sorry I wasn't at Thanksgiving. I had other things to take care of, like my asshole in prison, protecting that from other people. So then Henry Bowers, the psychotic bully, he drives into the alleyway, nearly running Mike over. Mike had to dive out the way, and then Henry basically spits on him, tells him to get the fuck out of town, and then drives off. I'm like, this guy's such a dickhead. He's a racist asshole, and he's homophobic. And I'm fairly sure as well, he was homophobic, but he was also secretly gay, but he tried to repress being gay, because he doesn't like gays. So, we cut to our other kid, like I'm a dad or some shit. So we go to one of the other kids, Stanley. He's practicing some gay oven on the piano, and his dad catches him slacking, and he says, you haven't been reading that book, you haven't been studying shit. So he tells Stanley to go put the book back. So he tells Stanley to go put the book away because it's just fucking useless. So Stanley's going to put the book away. He notices the beautiful painting of his grandmother. It's crooked, and he tries to go and fix it. And as he goes to put the book away, the painting falls off again because it gains sentience. So then when he goes to check the painting again, the woman escaped or something. The grandma came out of the painting to bake some cookies and give Stanley some fresh smooches on his cheeks. So in the darkness, the woman appears, smiles at Stanley, and then Stanley just runs away. Ben has no friends. He's a lonely little loser Discord mod, so he's spending his summer in a school library reading the history of Derry. What a fucking geek. Get the hell out and do some fent and hardcore drugs. It's summertime. What are you doing? So he's reading the history of Derry in this book, and as he's reading it, he starts to notice some strange ass killings and shit. Not strange ass killings. He's just reading a history about the killings in Derry because, I don't know, he's just interested in death or some shit, or he's just interested in disasters that happen in Derry. So in one of these pages, he sees a head that's like somehow in the fucking top of a tree or some shit. It's like, I don't know if the person up there just decided to hang himself with razor wire and their head got separated from the rest of their body or something. So as he's reading the book, he sees a red balloon flowing towards the exit of the library, and he notices there's an egg. He goes to the egg, it leads him to another egg, and basically this is a Tom and Jerry trail of eggs that leads him down to like this storage room, or this room where there's like a load of filing cabinets and shit. The lights start flickering because the librarian couldn't be arsed paying for electricity, the greedy old fuck. So then the Easter bunny arrived, but he was late because he needed to get fresh fed at the barber shop. He needed to ask the barber for a bit off the top, so he's holding a bunch of eggs, and then the Easter bunny starts chasing Ben. And Pennywise, he doesn't only feed off of fear, he feeds off of rage, because he tries to rage bait Ben by calling him Egg Boy. So then Ben runs out the room, and as he's walking home, Henry Bowers catches him walking home. He's doing the crime of walking home on his own. So he's just chilling on a statue. So then Henry goes over to Ben. Or Ben tries to run away, but then two of his other buddies are like, I don't know, behind something. They just pop out of the darkness and grab him. It's like Henry just summoned them in. It's like he used a conjure up spell and he's summoning his allies. So they bring Ben to this road where there's like this railing, and it's like on a hill basically. And they basically have him on this railing. They have him pinned down. They start being actual assholes. They fucking take his shirt off, start slapping his fucking stomach around like it's a drum. And then Henry whips out a blade. Not before. And then right after, an elderly couple drives by. They literally look at Henry and the kid, and they basically kind of see that Henry's holding the blade. They don't think that's troublesome or anything. They don't really give a shit, to be honest. They're probably thinking that Henry's gonna slice up some birthday cake or some shit. So then Henry starts carving his name into Ben's stomach because he thought it was a wall and he thought his knife was a spray can. So then Ben kicks Henry, which sends him tumbling down the hill, and then the rest of them come up with the same idea of tumbling down after the hill with them. Henry and his group, they go down the hill, they kind of fall down as well, and then Henry loses play. He's like, oh shit, my old man's gonna smash a ball over her head if I don't get this knife back for him. So Henry sends his gooners to go look for Ben. Two of them, Patrick and Butch Belcher, split up. Patrick goes into the sewers because that's where he thinks Ben went. I don't know, Ben just wants to smell like a piece of shit. He just wants to hide in there like Michael Myers and Halloween Ends. So he goes into the sewers looking for Ben, calling him there. He's like, where are you, huge tits? Let me see those huge tits. So he's walking through with like his makeshift blowtorch, which is basically just a spray can and a lighter, and he lights his way in. And then when he eventually lights his way in, he finds zombies. He finds dead corpses in the sewers just chilling there. He fucking trespassed the shit out of them, and now he's going to get shot because this is America and you have the right to shoot anyone that's on your property. So Patrick tries to run away, but then he ends up running into a dead end of the sewers. I'm not sure if it's the actual dead end of the sewers. I'm fairly sure he did run back the same direction he came in, because Pennywise can also manipulate your reality and the environment around you. So Pennywise kind of made it the dead end. So then Patrick's just at this dead end, and he picks up like a shit pipe or some shit. And nearby, he's gonna arm himself. He's gonna, do some fake swings at him. He's like, stay back. So then a red balloon floats towards him and it fucking bursts. And then we see Pennywise just standing there. He tweaks towards him, fucking shaking his face at him. Like he's trying to shake his tits, but he's trying to shake his face, trying to show him his teeth, trying to show him the goods. And he jumps on Patrick and basically eats him. Eddie's walking home from school and he's walking by a big ass well house. It kind of looks like the monster house. And he's walking by it. He drops his gazebo pills and he tries to pick him up. But then his uncle that he hasn't seen in 50 years appears behind him and he tries to help him. But then Eddie, remembering what his uncle did on Thanksgiving dinner, runs away. He runs through the back of the well house. And then he turns around. It was Pennywise because he turns around. There's like a basically upside down Illuminati triangle of red balloons that float up. And it shows Pennywise doing his iconic smile. So then he runs away. And then we cut to Beverly, who's reading this this love poem basically that Ben wrote to her, but I'm very sure Beverly thought it was Bill later on in the movie, because she actually fucks with Bill more than Ben because he's a double lad, or I don't know, he just fucks with Bill more. So she's reading this love note, and then she starts hearing voices from the drain, thinking, did the plumber accidentally trap himself in the pipes and need to go help him? So she goes to the drain, and then she goes to the drain and to check it out, and then she sneaks past her predatory dad. She has a fucking really sus dad, by the way. She came home from school, and the first thing his dad done was ask her if she's still his little girl, and then he just sniffed her hair like she was being drenched in cocaine or some shit. He just wanted to get a whiff of that. So she sneaks past her sleeping father, gets the measuring tape, measures the drain, pulls the tape out, and notices, oh wait, there's hair that I caught earlier on. So it wraps around her wrist, then more hair starts coming out of the drain, wrapping around her face, and I was basically starting to grab her, and then blood sprays out of the fucking drain like the sink's on its period. It just covers the whole room in strawberry jam. Everything looks like it's just been a mess. And then her dad walks in, doesn't even see that shit because he's blind as fuck, and then sort of just leaves her there to sit in her own filth and shame. We get to Billy, who basically seen the light turn on in his brother's room. He goes to it and he finds it's Georgie's room. So he finds that Georgie made a little Lego turtle that's supposed to be an Easter egg to the turtle god, the Maturin, who basically vomited out the universe. So basically, man had too much shots to drink and he just gave birth to us as a result. So he sees a shadow move by the door and he drops the Lego Maturin. He broke the turtle. He goes out into the hallway. He sees footsteps leading downstairs into the kitchen. He goes into the kitchen, sees his brother run by like he's a fucking ghost, which leads him into the basement. This is a bit sus, bro. He's trying to trap you in the diddies there. And so he goes downstairs, and the basement floor is kind of like flooded with water a little bit. We see Georgie just chilling here behind the wooden banister, and I can't remember exactly what he says to Billy, but he does say shit like him, you'll float too, basically telling him, you will become a balloon. Join me, brother. We can both be dead and be flown into the air and explode. So then Pennywise emerges from the water as Georgie's chatting his shit. He grounds Georgie by slamming into the water, fucking drowning him again. So then Pennywise does his classic tweaker run and runs after Billy. Billy runs upstairs and Pennywise just sort of slithers away like a little pussy snake. So the group is walking around outside. At this point, the group all know each other. Bev knows them. Ben knows them. They're all basically buddies, and they notice Butch Belcher's car and Mike's bike is chilling right beside each other. So they're wondering, wait, did Mike and Butch Belcher just become friends? Did Henry have a change of how he's not racist anymore? He actually likes black people. So they basically have to be. So Bev comes up with the idea to be transgender Mario and go save Princess Peach in the forest. So they go to save him, and we cut to Mike being forced. His face is being rubbed in like raw meat by Henry. Henry's just shouting at him with passion, like, "Eat it! Eat the raw meat! Next you're gonna be eating my meat!" So then, as this is happening, Mike notices Henry in the bushes because he decided to go homeless mode, or he decided to move house. And he has basically his severed arm, and he's like munching on it like it's a KFC drumstick, and he uses it to wave at Mike. Mike tries to get up, he's like, "I want a piece of that, I'm starving too." But no, Henry's like, no. He kicks him in the face, gets on top of him, and then grabs a rock and is about to do a budget procedure of lobotomy onto his head. But then he gets a rock bonked at his head. I'm pretty sure it was Bev that threw that. But then Henry says some shit about like, "Don't worry, losers, you don't have to try. She'll do you. Just like how I done her." And he starts like rubbing his cock and licking his lips and shit. It's a little freaky deaky. So then that makes Ben crash out. He gets some exercise in by fucking winding up a shot and lobs it at Henry's head. So then they both start a rock fight. Butch Belcher gets 2 fucking rocks bonked to his head. One by Richie and then the other by Bev. I'm fairly sure Mike got his get back by flooring Henry with the rock. And then this is how shitty his friends are. Henry got left by his friends when the rock was done. He's just left there lying in the rubble, and his friends just sort of just like ran away from him like dead. I don't know this guy. We just met him in this forest. Who the fuck are you, mate? We only just got drugs from you now one time. Like, get away from us. So he just basically leave him. So the Losers Club are Billy's garage, and they're looking at the map of everywhere where Pennywise attacked, and they figure out everywhere where Pennywise attacked, there's a sewage pipe leading back, and all of them connect to this well house that Eddie walked by, where he saw his diseased uncle trying to give him a hug. So Eddie starts to panic, and because he remembers that encounter, he starts to take a whiff on his inhaler, and then he rips the map off the wall because he doesn't believe in maps. He actually shits himself when he sees a map. I'd love to see what he's like watching Dory Explore when the map pops on. So then the projector starts flickering. It starts flashing Billy with like pictures of his family, and then his mad starts to reveal her new makeover. She starts to transform into Pennywise, doing a weird ass face. So then Mike decides to boot the projector. He kicks it. The projector is still on and showing like a picture of Pennywise, and then switches to an empty frame where Pennywise was. And then Pennywise, he brings their 3D experience to so much more authentic level, because he crawls out of the fucking screen, looks at all of them, runs at all of them, but he specifically goes for Beverly. He crawls after him, he like sort of reaches out for her before disappearing. I feel like that's foreshadowing because later on in the movie, Pennywise kidnaps her. So the kids head to the well house to go beat the shit out of Pennywise, and Eddie goes over to this dead tree because he has a fascination with dead plants. He takes like this paper, he reaches for it from the tree, and it says, I'm missing. I don't know if the person who wrote it was stupid or if he was dyslexic, supposed to write something else, because Richie's right there, he's with the group. How's he missing? Maybe he's missing with them. So then they hear a noise upstairs. They go to investigate. I'm pretty sure it's Eddie, Richie, and Billy inside the house, because Beverly, Mike, and Ben were all a bunch of pussies and wanted to stay out for luck in case Henry comes back and plays patty cake with them. So they're upstairs. They basically get split off. Richie and Billy go into one room because they seen one of the missing kids. I can't remember what her name was, Betty or something. So she gets dragged away. They go to that room because they think it'll be Mario and Luigi and say Princess Peach. So then once they're in the room, the door closes on them and the door to another room opens to it. And Eddie tries to go back to Richie and Billy, but then as he's running towards the room, the floor in front of him just falls apart. The floorboards were fake. They were just made from Legos because they just break off like there was nothing. So then the leper man appears behind Eddie, and he fades, and then he falls through the hole into the first floor. So then as the two boys are grounded by their outer-galactic mother, Billy's trying to open the door. He's trying to get out because he wants to go beat the shit of Eddie. And then Richie gets called into another room it's inside a room. So he gets called into this room. Door closes on him. It's a bunch of statues. Turns out it's like a whole group of clowns. They're all ready to, initiate him into the circus. He turns around. There's a little midget and demon clown behind him. He freaks out. There's like a coffin in the middle of the room. The coffin opens up. Richie goes towards the coffin and he sees his early Christmas present from Santa Claus. So he doesn't really like it because he expected PS5. Instead he got a Comstock. So he closes the coffin, but then it opens back up and Pennywise fucking jumps out like he's on the moon and then lands on the coffin and just says to him, "Beep beep, Richie. You're scared of cars, aren't you, Richie?" So then he runs out Richie. Richie runs out the room. Richie and Billy, they notice a mattress, and then his brother fucking pops through the mattress. And I'm not sure if his brother drank a carton of gasoline because he thought it was Coca-Cola, because he starts like throwing up this black bile or some shit. It's like his vomit was infected or something. It's like instead of milk with cereal, he had gasoline with cereal. So he's throwing up this black shit all over the floor. Meanwhile, Eddie's sleeping, having his nice little nap, and he wakes up to the beautiful sight of a fridge and a broken arm. His arm got fucked. So he's lying on the broken piece of shit table. Now his man's gonna come home and beat him because he broke her precious furniture. So the fridge opens up, and then a bunch of food just comes to life. It's like a sausage party. The foods are rebelling. They're gonna tear everyone apart. Pennywise hops out of the fridge. He's like built like a pretzel. He just has the flexibility of a god. Because I swear he's like turned around like this, and he turns around like this, and like his arms and shit start fucking forming and all. I'd probably just put a scene up on the screen just to like show it to you better. Probably better than me explaining this piece of shit. So then Pennywise starts doing his dance towards Eddie. He starts strutting towards him, being like, hey, let me take you to dance class. This is how you do it. This is the first step, second step. So then he charges at Eddie. He kind of just like fucking goes to him, grabs his arm, and then starts rage baiting the shit. And he's like, I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you. You know, it's basically just starts making him shit his pants. And then Richie and Billy, they come across 3 doors. One saying not scary, one saying scary, and then the other saying very scary. So obviously they choose the not scary door because, you know, they want to have the least scariest experience ever. But this is Pennywise. He's a bit of a troll. So they open the door, and then they see Betty doing pull-ups by hanging from her arms with no legs, and then they close the door. They open that door again. The door leads to the hallway where Eddie and Pennywise are. Then Billy and Richie pull up to where Pennywise and Eddie are. Pennywise basically starts chatting shit to Billy. He's like, I'm not real enough for you? You still think you're an LSD, you clown? And then he charges at him. So then Bev comes out of the shadow, stabs Pennywise in the head with a spike. So then all the groups together, Mike, Ben, and Bev, Richie, Eddie, and Billy, they're all together now. So Pennywise turns into like some monster. He starts transforming. One of his arms starts to transform into like a werewolf arm, because I'm pretty sure one of them scared of werewolves. He scares the group, and then he goes to claw Ben in the stomach. I don't know what the fuck's up with like people targeting Ben specifically. He's like, lad, leave him alone. Just because he's built like a tub of lard doesn't mean you have to keep bullying the shit out of him. So basically he basically just scared them, clawed them in the stomach, and then just left. And then they're outside. Billy and Richie get into a huge heated argument because Billy's like, alright, we need to go back here and, you know, finish the job. And then Richie's kind of like, no, not really. I kind of just want to go home and play on my Xbox. So then basically they get into a fight. Billy pushes Richie. Richie pushes him back. And then Billy's like, I don't know, he just clocks him in the face. Richie slaps onto the ground. They basically both get held back. And then the group kind of just sort of separates. So Henry's hanging around with his friends. He's doing some target practice. He's shooting one of his alcoholic dad's bottles with a gun. So then he decided to, level it up a notch and gets his friend Butch, I'm very sure. They see a live kitty, so he tells Butch, go get that cat. I'm hungry and I want to have some fresh kitty for dinner. So even Butch is like fighting where it's like, really? We're just gonna kill this innocent little animal? So Butch grabs this cat. He's holding it for Henry to shoot. Henry's about to pull the trigger, but then his dad just comes out of fucking nowhere and basically scares the shit out of him. He takes the gun from Henry and then starts shooting around his feet before screaming in his face like, ah! And then he just walks away. He's like, yeah, there's nothing like some fair to put into a man. Or whatever the fuck he says about fair. So meanwhile, Henry is chilling with his friends, with Butch and his blonde friend by the car, and he notices there's a red balloon by the post box, so he goes over to it to see what's up, and he opens the post box. He finds a box which has a knife. Pennywise is being Santa Claus because he brought him an early Christmas present. So then he goes back into the house, and his dad fell asleep watching the TV. Dumbass is wasting electricity, and he's wasting the TV license. Retard. So the TV's basically brainwashing Henry, telling him, kill your dad, kill your dad. Kill your dad. Yeah, it warned us about media controlling us, and it's happening on Henry because Henry has a knife up the dad's neck. It's basically a switchblade. It's one of those knives where you like press a button and a blade comes out, and then you pull it back and it goes back in. So he presses the button, knife goes into the dad's neck. The dad tries to struggle a bit, but then Henry's sort of just there like holding a knife to his neck. It's like, die you bitch, I fucking hate you. So then we cut back to Bev, who's trying to leave the gap, but then her dad knew about her sneaking out, so he padlocked the door, and he's sitting in there in the darkness like he was expecting her to sneak out. So he's like, where are you going off to? Come here, let's have a chat, right? me and you need to talk about this. So basically he starts talking to her about it because people have been saying to Bev's dad that your daughter's a slag and she's going out in the forest to get trains ran through her. They're going out to the forest to have an orgy. So he's thinking, yo, is this true? Are you still my girl? And she says, no, fuck off. You adopted me, mate. I didn't pop out of your nuts. So then she tries to get away from him. He kind of just lets her go and makes her fly into an iron board. And then they start to struggle. He gets on top of her, about to do some really questionable shit. So then she kicks him in the balls, kicks him in the face, runs to the bathroom, locks that shit, hides behind the car. And her dad's not happy about her breaking his balls. So he walks towards the bathroom, kicks the door down, looks for her, but then he opens the curtain because that would be the most obvious place where she'd be hiding. But she came in prepared. She ripped the sink off of the fucking bathroom and smashes it onto his head. So then he falls onto the ground. He's knocked out. She's about to leave the bathroom, but then she has like her creepy clown uncle who was also helping her dad get her because Pennywise appears in the doorway, grabs her, and that's how the scene ends. Billy pulls up to the gaff to go get her, and he walks into Beverly. I actually don't know why Billy pulled up to her gaff in the first place. It's probably just like the caller outside and be like, yo, let's go fuck up a clown. But yeah, he goes into her apartment, and then he goes in the bathroom saying, you die. If you try, you will die. Something like that. Something about him dying anyway. So Bev wakes up in a beautiful 5-star apartment hotel room. The sewers, everything smells and looks like shit around her. So she's walking around. She notices a big SpongeBob door that's just shut closed. And then a big gazebo or a big wooden stage just opens up. So Pennywise appears. He tries to show her a trick. He starts dancing, doing the iconic dance that Fortnite turned into Take the L. So she notices the SpongeBob door has been opened because SpongeBob came in and wanted to save the day. So she runs for it, but then I'm very sure it's just Pennywise tricking her. She runs for it. Pennywise jumps into the fucking air like he's playing leapfrog with his imaginary friend. He jumps towards her, grabs her, and she's sort of just like he's not really scared. He's like, I'm not scared of you. You're not really that scared, to be honest. He even checks as well. She sniffs it. He's like, fuck, you're not scared of me, that's right. So then he opens up his face and whips out his 4 giant nightlights out of his mouth. And basically, if you look into them, you go insane or you die. So she looks into this and she gets caught in a trance and she just starts to float up like a balloon. Meanwhile, the group, they made it back to the well house. They're climbing down the well. And everyone in the group went down the well and into the side hole except for Mike. And now Mike's about to climb down, but then Henry comes out of nowhere, gives him a chiropractic adjustment with a metal pipe, grabs him, trucks him across the room, gets on top of him, or not before moving the rope out of the sewers so the rest of the group can't, climb out and gangbang him. But that's because Henry wants to gangbang Mike. He gets on top of Mike, grabs a bolt gun that's nearby, is about to shoot him in the head. He's literally like holding it to his forehead. Mike moves at last seconds. The bolt gun just goes off. Mike grabs a rock, bashes onto Henry's head, and he fucking charges him into the well, and Henry just goes tumbling down. Bro's gonna be growing up like a plant. Stanley's with the group, but he turns around because he sees Pennywise, and he turns around again, and he got transported into the backers as well because he's completely separated from the group. He's in a completely different room in the sewers. And he's walking around, and then the woman from earlier on, her grandma, comes into the darkness, and he gets on top of her. Or he, grabs her. So then the rest of the group finds Stanley enjoying his first kiss. And then Billy also notices his brother, little retard didn't clock that his brother is deceased. So he walks towards his brother, which leads him into this room where all the missing kids are. Holy shit. It's like a big, massive closet full of, a bunch of kids' corpses just floating around. I swear Pennywise just, was saving their bodies for later. So I don't know why he still had their bodies. I swear he eats them. No? Or is it only their fare? Maybe he just feeds off of their essence. I have no idea. But yeah, the rest of the group find Bev. Ben sort of just clocks into mind the only way to save Bev is by the power of love. So he kisses Beverly, and that actually manages to wake Beverly up from the trance. So after Beverly woke up from her nice deep hibernation slumber, Bill notices Georgie again, and he goes to follow him again. But this time, it's not to have a family reunion. This time, it's to finish him off because he goes over to Bill. He goes over to Georgie. He actually starts accepting Georgie's dead because he also notices that it isn't Georgie because he calls the boat it when Bill told her to get the boat's gender right and call it a she. So he knows this is Pennywise. So he takes the gun up to Georgie's head, and Mike tells him, yo, it's not loaded, retard. You're just going to be shooting with oxygen. So he shoots the gun. It actually makes a hole in Georgie's head. Georgie falls back, starts to transform into Pennywise like he's going through an overdose. Pennywise gets up, Fen tweaks a bit. Billy takes the gun again up to his head, pops him in the 5 head, making a hole. But then Pennywise gets pissed. He starts acting monster mode and gets on top of Bill, and Bill's holding him back. It's like a dog being held back by like a fucking chew toy or some shit. This is how it's happening. So Bev tries to stab Pennywise. Pennywise just sort of whacks it away like it's styrofoam. And then Mike also goes to try and hit Billy, but then Pennywise went to the UFC, so he fucking uppercuts him into a fucking wall. And then Bill gets around him on top of his back like a little grin, holds the spike up to his mouth. The rest of the group try to pin him down. They all like get on. Richie also gets on top of his back. They all hold him down. They all try to pin him down. But then Pennywise turns into a fidget spinner and just starts like spinning around, starts rotating, and spins most of them off. He gets Billy off of his back, and then he's holding Billy. So then Pennywise gives him a proposition, be like, right, I can adopt all of yous, I can adopt one of yous. I'm gonna have a family either way, so I don't really care. But if you let me adopt one of yous, I'll let you live with your real families, and I can just have one child to myself. So deal. And then Richie sort of just says no. He actually wants to, give him a concussion because he takes a bat out of a shit pile, and then Pennywise charges at Richie. Richie bonks him in the head. Mike tries to go at Pennywise, but Mike's parents are like trying to reach out for Mike's help because a bunch of burnt arms come out of Pennywise's mouth, grab Mike's pipe and shit, and then Ben comes around the corner, fucking slams onto those hands with his pipe. Richie hits Pennywise from the back, and then Pennywise charges at Stanley with the head of the woman from the painting. Stanley hits him, but then he starts tweaking out. His arms turn to hentai tentacles. He throws Mike. Mike is on the ground. And then Pennywise turns into Larry the Lobster and starts fucking trying to poke the shit out of Mike with his lobster hands. Ben goes to charge at him because he thinks he's fucking Kratos from God of War 1, a Spartan. So then Pennywise's head turns into a mummy, I'm pretty sure, because it has bandages and shit. So then the bandages start wrapping around Ben and shit. They start trying to turn him into someone that looks like they got put in a body cast. So then Richie decides to switch his weapon because he grabs a chain that was on the ground, hits Pennywise twice with it. Richie gives him another bomb with baseball bat. Billy comes back with another double punch and fucking hits him twice with the chain again. And then Pennywise starts coughing up infected Coca-Cola, the same shit that Georgie was coughing up because he vomits that shit onto Eddie. Eddie looks like he just came out of the fucking dressing room, just decided to go blackface mode, except his whole body is all black. So then he boots Pennywise in the face. So then Pennywise has one more trick up his asshole. His head turns into Bev's dad's head, and she asks Bev, yo, are you still my little? And before he could even finish it, Bev cuts him off by shoving a fucking big long ass pipe down his throat. So then Pennywise, obviously defeated, he starts crawling away because he's getting no more fair of them. He's smelling nothing but bravery. So he crawls towards like this other bigger ass pipe that goes deeper into the sewer. So it's like he gets dragged, he gets pulled into it, but he hops into the pipe. His head starts breaking apart because it's made from paper mache. And the last thing he says to them, fear. And then he just gets dragged away into the pipe. And basically that's how the movie ends. Pennywise get defeated. The rest of the group, they practice some blood transfusion by making a blood pact saying that if the outer galactic diddler comes here again to touch any more kids, we'll come back and touch him instead. And yeah, that was pretty much me doing Certified Menace on Pennywise in the first It movie. Hope you did enjoy this video. See you later.